Hello and welcome to episode number 50. I seem to love to have technical problems lately, so this is a redo because the last one didn't have sound. Yay! So today's topic is breaking down the walls of your life. And it's something that showed up in my life, and recently, I've just become aware of it again, and so it's something that I've been playing with a lot lately. And so I thought I would share it and talk about it. So, what is it? What are walls? And what can we do with them? And so the first thing is really just talking about the walls. What are walls and what do we do? Well, we have this notion and have been taught for ever since we were probably in the womb or a tiny child that we have to protect ourselves. And so we have this sense that we need protection. And I'm really talking about an energetic protection because physically, we still have a body, and if the body gets, beat up, it's not super fun. But we still, what we end up doing is in order to protect ourselves, we we put up walls. Now, what does that create? What does that do? And what is that? Well, it's really quite simple actually. As a form of protection, we we put up a wall so things can't get through to us. It's just like back in the medieval days, they would build a castle or a community, and they would build a wall around the community to protect it from people invading their village or their castle or their community. This is essentially the same thing. You put up walls to protect yourself. Now, as you know, when you put a wall around a city, there's only certain places you can actually then leave the city as well. So it actually creates limitation on where you can go and where you can go from your village. There may only be one main gate or two or something like that. So this is the same thing with a wall. When you put up a wall between you and everything, it limits things from coming in and it limits things from going out. So you limit, maybe energies coming in, and you also limit you to connect with the world, to connect with everything and everyone. Um, when you have your walls up, it's really hard to do that, to connect with people, because there's this wall in the way. So it's really interesting. So what if it wasn't required? And so I'm going to use an example of a physical body. Well, when you have a we have bodies, we all have these physical bodies. And so we use them. And, if somebody's coming to, do something forceful against you, like, try to attack you, whether it's, with their fist or with an object, like a knife or I don't know what, a hammer, you're going to try to protect yourself in some sort of way. That's a very natural thing. It's a survival instinct. You're going to try to block that punch or block that thing that they're trying to protect you with something else. Like you may, try to have an object as well to help, um, you know, put a barrier up, put something in the way of this object that they're trying to hit your body with. Because our bodies, they can be a little fragile at times, and if you physically hit a body with something, it can create something that you probably don't really desire. So this is something built into us. So we do this energetically. And what if it was slightly different? What if you can imagine your body, but instead of it being a physical body, it's like a hologram, so it's a picture. Um, it's a picture that represents your body, but there's actually no physical substance to it. With a hologram, it's literally just a light picture that you can put a fist through or walk right through a hologram. It doesn't have any solidity to it. So, what if that's actually what it was? And so, if somebody was projecting something at you intensely, um, and you were a hologram, it literally would go right through you. Hmm. And what if that was actually the case? What if those intensities that people project, expectations, judgments, whatever it may be, what if those things didn't affect you? So, what if you could put your wall down and anything that comes at you, that you just were able to receive it and not take it on, and it would literally just float right through you? Now, that's a pretty different experience. That's a really different experience. And so, what if that wasn't required? And also, the same thing is that you could show up when your wall is up, you kind of disappear. You're not actually there because no one can see you. You put up this energetic wall. You don't really allow yourself to exist and interact and be a contribution to this world. So it will affect the way you are in the world. And what if it was different, and what if it could show up in a different way? So what if you could just have your walls down? What if you didn't have any walls up? What could show up? Now, I noticed for me that I recognize when I may have my walls up, when I notice resistance in my world. When I'm resisting something, whether I'm looking at something or whether I'm in a conversation with somebody, and I notice there's some resistance, I'm like, walls, yeah, those walls. Because you may notice when you start playing with this, and when you're aware of it, that having your walls up actually takes energy. It's work to put them up and to keep them there. So what if you didn't have to do that? And notice when you put your walls down, and you may ask right now, or maybe have been asking already, well, how do I do this? How do I put my walls down? It is actually asking just to put your walls down. And how will you know that you've actually done that? That your walls aren't still up? Well, you'll notice a sense of ease in your world because you don't have to use that energy to keep the walls up. And you may notice that there's just seems to be this space and this sort of connection that shows up that wasn't there before. And you may realize, this is what it's like to have my walls down. And you get a sense of that peace in that space. Now, the easiest place to actually put your walls down is in nature. It's really easy to have your walls down. That's where you can connect. As long as you're not perpetually having your walls up. That's the place I would practice if you're looking to play with this and haven't spent a lot of time doing it. So you might notice you just walk around with your balls up. You may live in a busy city or something like that, and when you walk around, there's so much energy being moved, it can be really intense, and so you put your walls up to create ease for you. Hmm, what if it didn't actually create ease? What if you're just willing to receive all that and not have it um, kind of like affect you at all? And just acknowledge it being there. I'll give you an example. The other day, I was walking out on the street, and this man walked by me and he started yelling at me for no apparent reason. And he was clearly angry. The interesting thing for me was that I knew he wasn't angry at me. Um, he was just an angry person, or maybe he was just angry at himself. And so he was looking for a reaction, something to bump his anger off of. I didn't react. I was just the space because I knew it wasn't about me. And so there was no reaction showing up for him from me. So he just went on his way and, nothing came of it at all. In fact, I completely forgot about it until I was doing this video. um, and so it's interesting, like when you don't react and you just allow that to show up and you don't take it on. I didn't take it on because I knew it wasn't about me, and it never is. So, what is possible then when you have that ease in your world? And people that project a lot are looking for a reaction. That's actually their target, their goal is to get a reaction. They're looking for that resistance that they can use, and if there is no resistance, they get bored and they'll literally just disappear or go away. So what could you do with that? How much could your life change? This is a really simple thing, just to ask to put your walls down. Just ask to put them down. And then notice the relaxation that shows up, the kind of space and ease. And keep playing with that throughout your day. There's another thing. You may not want to acknowledge this right now, though there is literally nothing in the world that you can't handle. Nothing. So anytime you're in a really intense situation, or something's going on in your world that's super intense, maybe you're around people, maybe it's not, maybe it's pain, maybe it's things with your body, it can be all kinds of things, and it's super intense, and you can handle anything if you're willing to receive it and not resist it in any way, because the resisting takes a tremendous amount of work and can be extremely exhausting and really tiring. So just playing with this one thing, putting your walls down and just being in the space and not taking on, and just being that hologram where you just allow things to move through you. You don't make it significant. You don't give it any relevance. It just is. Oh, somebody's angry. They're projecting their anger at me. Huh, cool. They're angry. Awesome. And what else is possible here? And playing with that and seeing what shows up. The thing is, everyone seems to really want to connect in some sort of way. We love that connection with people. We love connection. This is a thing that, it's talked about, being lonely. And I've been single most of my life, and it's a question that people always ask, aren't you lonely? No, I'm not. Because I connect with people, and I'm connected to people all the time. I don't need to be physically with somebody 24/7 to have a connection. And I may be alone, like physically not in connection with like not in the same space as someone, but I'm not alone. Like, I'm not lonely, let's put it that way. And so it's really interesting. Is like we have this desire, this really strong pull to connect with people. Most people do. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for this connection. They're looking for whatever you want to call it, love from somebody, whatever that is. Well, you can't actually have it when your walls are up. It's literally impossible. So you're creating this separation, and then you wonder why you're alone. Well, it's a creation that you've created yourself. And I get it. We've all done it. Heck, I've done it plenty of times in my life in certain situations. And it's just something you can play with and you can change it. And really, this is just the invitation to like play with this one thing of putting your walls down and seeing what can show up and seeing how much more you can be in this world and how much more you can contribute to people and people can contribute to you. It's willing to be really having this willingness to receive everything, receive the good, bad, and the ugly, whatever you want to call it, and have that willingness to be you and to show up as you, however that shows up. And with your barriers down, it's a heck of a lot easier. So if you've enjoyed this weekly podcast, Facebook Live, whatever it is, I have it on my YouTube channel. If you want more, if you want to have a session with me or something like that, please contact me. Facebook Messenger. You can contact me on email, torsentable@gmail.com. And I would love to hear from you. And really, what else is possible? And keep playing with this and see what shows up in your world. I know it creates ease in my world, and that's why I play with these things. I really find that we can literally change anything. And so, how much fun can we have? And what can we discover? Can we discover the gift of us every day and to a greater degree? And how much greater can we be? Thank you so much for watching. I'm super grateful for every one of you. And have an awesome week. And we will see you again next week. Have a good one. Bye.